This week, we'll be talking about more layoffs hit the gaming industry, Crystal Dynamics ends Marvel's Avengers, MBJ plus Rainbow Six equals DJ's fanfic, The Last of Us TV view numbers are crazy. All this and more on Season 7, Episode 3 of Press X Gamers Digest. And normally, we'd hit the little thing, but, we're live, so we ain't doing that. What's up, everyone? I am your host, DJ, a.k.a. Sexy Bad Choices, a.k.a. From now on, when I pee, I hold my breath and I say, it's the way of the water. I am joined by...
John M.F. Ross.
What the MF stand for?
Oh my God.
I don't remember that in the movie.
You ain't seen the deleted scenes?
Yeah, maybe you saw a director's cut. Is it still considered water when you
It's liquid.
No.
Yeah,
not.
right?
No. Water is very, very specific. Once you mix something into with H2O, it ceases to be the state of water.
I mean, but it's 2023. If P wants to identify as water, then
Oh, no.
who am I?
Good God.
Hey, Kool-Aid is like 90% water, right? It's just the additives that are the problem.
Yeah.
So, hey, also way of the water,
Well, I'm your heavyweight champion from Which Nigga Wood, California, aka the janitor because we watch niggas, aka speaking of identification, I identify as a threat. So my pronouns are try me.
Marcus,
Well, we're gonna need to
wait.
have you lift your sack and cough.
Stop it.
Unfortunately, I don't want to be the one to break it to you, but you didn't have to identify as a threat. It's already a thing, unfortunately.
Oh, you're right. We do live in America.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Last up?
I'm Avery, and I'm sorry to be here.
He's Avery, and he's fed up with our bullshit.
I'm not sorry you're here, Avery.
Consistency is key, and we love it. All right. Now you know who we are. Press X to Start Gamers Digest is a video podcast that condensed the most important gaming news from the past week into an hour-long meal just for you. You get it? Because the whole digest. So we can eat that meal to digest. Exactly. We are live on YouTube every Sunday. That is right now. It is 3 o'clock on the dot per my computer. Science.
It's 12
So,
over here.
again, welcome for the people in the live chat. Hello, YouTube. With that being said, actually, before we jump into the news, there is an announcement. We did our 2023, almost said Final Fantasy, our Fantasy League draft picks. So that will be going live tomorrow. I think I put it at 9 a.m. or something like that. Anyways, once you get up, you'll see it. It'll be there. Check the video. It's awesome. We have a good time. Jordan did an auto draft. He has completely merged with the Matrix, and it beat our ass. Like, that's the best.
A whole lot of anger and spite in that fantasy draft.
From moment one, it was just.
Don't understand. Even when you guys randomized it, there's no reason the guy who wasn't there should have gone first.
Hey, man.
That's why
and he took Game of the Year. He took Certified Game of the Year first. It's freaking crazy. It's kind of upsetting.
Out the gate.
It was a good time.
It's not.
So yeah, definitely check it out.
Not gonna be Game of the Year. That's my hot take for 2023. It's gonna be a good game, great game. It's not gonna be Game of the
Year. All right. So now it's that you know where to go, because you're already here, so you already did it. All right, Avery, let us jump into the gaming news. What's happening?
Yeah, so cool beans. This is a lot has happened over the last week, so this is going to be our first story is a pretty big multi-part story. I tried to pull from as many sources as I could in order to give the best frame of how best idea of how this story, the best framing of this story. So let me jump to it. This is from Bloomberg.com. This is from Dina Bass, Matt Day, and Spencer Soper. Microsoft, Amazon set to erase 28,000 jobs as tech slump deepens. Now, when this story broke, it wasn't very clear how this would affect gaming, and I ignored it because of it. Then I saw Jason Schreier from Bloomberg quote tweet this story and pointing out this also affects Xbox as a brand as well. And I believe the exact numbers for Xbox are around 10,000. Well, no, Microsoft as a whole is losing about 10,000 people, and I do not have the exact number offhand of how many people Xbox as an entertainment industry is losing. But I can move to our next story, which is from Andy Robinson from VGC. Microsoft layoffs confirmed to affect Bethesda and Xbox. So those are the yeah, according to Bloomberg, Bethesda Games as well as 343 Industries, the companies behind Halo Infinite were affected. In addition, Microsoft's HoloLens and some engineering divisions also reportedly were cuts. So,
Oh, real quick, I found the number. It's going to be 878 positions.
okay, so 878
That got
positions,
let
and
go.
mainly from Bethesda and 343. That's the first part of the thing that we can talk about.
Yeah.
And then it is a company with another story from Andy Robinson. Phil Spencer tells Xbox employee layoffs were painful. Apparently, there was an open letter from Phil Spencer to the entire Xbox ecosystem about how the cuts, how the while tough. Actually, here's the exact quote. This has been a difficult week across Microsoft and here inside our teams. Now that many of the one-to-one team conversations have happened, I want to take this moment to reiterate the message you heard from your leaders. It is a challenging moment in our business, and this week's actions were painful choices. The game leadership team had to make decisions, and we felt set us up for the long-term success of our products and business. But the individual results of these decisions are real. I know that hurts. Thank you for supporting our colleagues as they process these changes. Okay. So we can put a pin on this right now, so we can all discuss all this information as it is.
Yeah, this is insane. Like, I think once the news broke, we got a bunch of different opinions that hit the internet. And I think the one that really made me think was because originally I was just like, oh man, that's terrible. Like, unfortunately, you have things like this that happen. Like last year, like IGN, they went through a layoff period right before the Game Awards or something like that. And, it's always just a bad thing when people lose their jobs because
Mass
of
layoffs. Mass layoffs are always a bad
mass
thing.
layoffs. Yeah. Yeah. So I think the one thing that I heard on the internet, I was like, oh, you know what? That's actually kind of an interesting and thing. Anyways, the thing that I heard was they were like, oh, well, why don't the CEOs just take a pay cut to keep the people
Okay,
around? Because
yeah, that's a pin in our.
go
That's
ahead.
you brought this up. Okay, so
Yeah.
there's a lot of question marks because Microsoft has earmarked this as a hey, this is a business reality of what we are, the current tech industry, and how we're going to handle it is cutting out 10,000 jobs. The CEO pretty much said to the fact that business like the his name is Satella. I can't forget his. I forgot his last name,
Yeah, I
but
don't remember his last name.
but he pretty much said that he gave us the business PR speech of what is necessary for this to happen. And I looked up how other companies have sort of handled these situations. And here's an article from the BBC News from 2014. Nintendo executives take pay cuts after profits tumble. So
Yep.
instead of instead of going through mass layoffs even though they had the war chest at the time, the layoffs are based. Oh, how I say this? Microsoft is recording record profits. The layoffs are not based upon trying to cut fat. As far as I can tell from what I've been researching, the layoffs are based on trying to maintain growth and appease their shareholders. Now that they're
Another part about that, real quick, because so like last year, like late last year, there was talks about a recession might happen. We might be easing into a recession, and the tech industry specifically are starting to get wise to the idea that that actually might be happening.
Mm-hmm.
So one other theory is that they're doing this to prepare for a future where they have to deal with a recession. So if they cut the people now, they'll be able to save their money and save their profits. So they are essentially future proofing, but we don't know.
yeah.
I remember that bar graph we saw at Microsoft though, where this was inevitable because I don't know if you guys remember that sharp spike in hiring around the pandemic time that was not consistent with their normal, hiring trend. This was going to come at a point anyway, and this isn't the first time that Nintendo has done this as well. When the Wii U sold poorly,
John,
Iwata
John, what the article I was talking about is what you just mentioned. I didn't get to
Oh.
finish it because you jumped in. Yeah.
Ah.
Specifically, they had the war chest and the Wii. They had the war chest, so they weren't hurt for profits, but the Wii U was underperforming. So the executives, including Iwata, took pay cuts in order to preserve this. So in order to preserve, I'm assuming to preserve jobs. So like,
Right.
there's no Phil's words, and I've looked up many post Xbox people about this situation. I have a couple articles about that. They kind of feel it hollow because it ignores the business reality of we're making record profits. You could have easily preserved our jobs by taking a pay cut. And here's a quote from Iwata and the reason why they took the pay cuts. Fuck, the quote disappeared. Anyway, his quote was, people aren't going to like, fuck, I need to find the quote because it's a really good quote and I want to.
Yeah. So actually, while you're talking about that, when after I heard that, like the whole thing of like, oh yeah, like CEOs they take a pay cut. In my mind, I was like, yeah, that's actually a really good idea. But then I thought, Microsoft is an American business, and
Right.
in America, this is what you do when you're faced against a quote unquote harsh reality of
What was
like,
that
oh, we're
quote?
not going to make money.
What was that quote from Tyrese's character in Fast and Furious 5 where he was like, this is how you stay rich, or this is how you stay wealthy, where he could have went and paid at the vending machine, but instead he decided to break into it and just take it. Yeah, that's the way that Americans operate. Like,
That's
why would I
facts, man. Yeah.
sacrifice my piece of the pie for someone else when I could have more of the pie? So
Right.
unfortunately, anytime I hear like a big exec give out that public ass boring statement about, oh, it's a tough time and we don't like to see people lose their jobs, it never doesn't feel hollow, frankly.
Right.
Well, especially when the different. It only feels hollow when your company itself is making a profit and making record profits. So it's clear that you, from a business standpoint, the bottom line matters more to the actual company. I can't find the Iwata quote, so I'm just gonna go verbatim from what I remember of the quote. I believe the exact quote was, "Your employees will work if your employees are worried about their job security, they're not going to work their best. So I would rather take a pay cut so they would feel secure than do that." So yeah.
What a novel concept.
Employees are fodder, though.
Yeah. And then in regards,
we're red shirts.
Another question was posed about, okay, what about Sony? How does Sony feel in all of this? If Microsoft is an entertainment organization, if a tech company is making this big layoffs, how does it affect other branches? As far as I can tell, it's mom on Nintendo whether they're going to do that. The power tracker indicates that if they do mass layoffs, it's not going to be doing to any financial stuff. More like, oh, this business is now redundant, so we're moving shit around or whatever. And in regards to Sony, I've looked up a lot. And a lot of their major studios are hiring and now are actively looking out to hire people who've been lost to this Microsoft stuff.
Yep.
Bungie opened up a brand new studio somewhere, and make a point that this is from TechSpot from Cal Jeffrey. Sony reveals 1/3 of its $3.6 billion Bungie deal is for talent retention. So Sony's more if Sony has to go through layoffs as a tech, there's also the reality that they also increased the price of the PS5.
Yeah.
Which may or may not be a roundabout way so they can avoid going through what Microsoft did. And plus with this, I don't think there's any real reason for Sony to have to go through mass layoffs, especially with they didn't grow as inhumanly fast for no reason as Microsoft.
Yeah.
Right. There was no need for them to stretch their, their pockets or whatever.
And then
oh, go ahead.
No, continue.
Oh, I was going to say something, but now go ahead, continue. If I remember, I'll say.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a couple more stories before we wrap this up because I have a topic involves this to discuss. This is from Tom Ivan. Halo Infinite's head of creative Joseph Staten is reportedly leaving the studio. This is reported literally, I think, around the time of the layoffs. And it's very clear that 343 was hit tremendously by these layoffs with one of its developers. Here's the story by Ethan Gotch from Kotaku.com. One of their developers, and here's his quote on Twitter. The layoffs at 343 shouldn't have happened, and Halo Infinite should be in a better state. The reason for both of these things is incompetent leadership on top during Halo Infinite development, causing massive stress on those working hard to make Halo the best it can be. The people I worked with every day were passionate about Halo and wanted to make something great for their fans. They helped push for a better Halo and got laid off for it. Devs still there are working hard on that dream. Look at Forge. Be kind to them during this awful time. So it's very clear that when Microsoft was making these layoffs, they made it in strategic ways, and considering the entire relationship with 343 and what the state Halo Infinite is in, by the way, nothing gives me more anger than thinking back, being glad we didn't do actual game of the year Halo Infinite came out, where DJ and Cameron both said it's going to be Halo Infinite game we didn't play. It's our game of the year. That's not here or there. That's just a weird aside.
Look, we all make mistakes, okay?
Yeah.
But you don't learn from yours.
Yeah, this paints a picture of the environment at 343 not being great, especially in regards to Halo Infinite's development. And I think, I don't want to say the layoffs there are punishment, but I think Microsoft as an organization felt that the layoffs there wouldn't really affect any other part of their business. And then there were layoffs and then my last point I want to broach is that they're currently in the midst of a 69 point something billion dollar deal to buy Activision Blizzard. They've now just gone through a massive layoff of 10,000 of their workforce, a percentage of which are from the Bethesda studios that they acquired a year prior. I really wonder how.
I actually know one of the people in Bethesda got laid off. So
yeah,
sucks.
Yeah, I really wonder how regulatory boards are going to react to this, and I could be just not, because this is, as far as I can tell, a normal business thing. But like, in my head, if mass layoffs don't promote a sense of security for the workforce of this new organization that you're going to be buying, especially when the layoffs.
Can't afford this, basically.
Yeah, like you're willing to put up this money just to buy all the IPs, but then when it comes to the actual workers and protecting the workers, like you're obviously not putting up the money to do that. So what does this mean? Like, you're going to be
they just wanted to
thousands of more people,
right? It just seems like they wanted to flex to like get one over on Sony and make it seem like, oh yeah, they've battened down the hatches, but now that it's come time to and everything and actually show proof in the pudding, they're looking foolish.
Yeah. There's a strong reality that if the deal had gone through as smooth as they wanted to go, that part of this firing group would have been some Activision Blizzard workers as well.
Oh, definitely, absolutely, yeah. Because Activision is huge, and I'm pretty sure Microsoft is like, not everyone's essential there, so they can definitely cut and save that money.
I'm wondering how long before they run Call of Duty and whatever into the ground if they do acquire AB.
I'm of the mind.
Oh, go ahead, Avery.
DJ, you have more COD experience. You can go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like I don't know if that will be a thing that I don't think that they would run into the ground. I think we might get. It's a weird thing because right now Call of Duty releases every year, but it's 3 different studios plus whatever auxiliary studios.
I feel
So
you. I mean the quality and all that. I
essentially-
mean, Unreal Tournament was king at one point. Quake was king at one point. Counter-Strike was king at one point. It has dwindled down to a core, set base.
Yeah. I feel like because that's going to definitely be their prize pony. So I definitely would assume that they would be like, okay, well,
Halo was their prize pony.
well, that's also true.
Here's a
He's not wrong.
Prize pony. Like,
He's not
Halo
wrong.
was their prize pony, but they also lost the the whole team that made that prize pony. So I
No.
think
And I
that's
wonder
another
why. I
factor to
wonder
it.
why.
That's also true.
Yeah, to my take on that, it depends on what they want to do and how the COD audience responds. Because the easy answer is they just keep the same cadence. The entire Activision Blizzard teams Activision Blizzard stays as a Call of Duty developer as a whole, and all the studios that they acquire from there just work as support studios to keep the Activision Blizzard, the Call of Duty train trucking forward. What a new game every year, and it all depends on whether the COD audience is willing to play game after game after year, which after the last 10 years, I'm pretty sure they're willing to play anything they put a Call of Duty in front of it, as long as it comes out on a yearly basis. Then there's the reality of, okay, we acquire these studios, let's slow down the cadence. Will COD as a game franchise survive intermediate breaks?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's going to be any issue with quality-wise in regards to Microsoft in Call of Duty. I just think it's what is going to happen is more of an engagement thing. Whether Call of Duty will remain the cash cow number one under their watch, especially with the reality that at a certain point they want to make this a exclusive game. Like, no amount of we want to play games everywhere that they parrot is the actual reality to their actual business practices.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, I mean, I think in terms of the if Call of Duty stops becoming a annual franchise, I think that'd be interesting to see what exactly would happen, because I don't necessarily think it would lose engagement. Especially if they're just adding content to the existing game, whatever that's happening that year. So there is like the same studio is still working on Call of Duty, but it's just their dev time is a year longer. I don't know. I think that would be interesting. I don't know.
Okay, so our next story. So wrapping up this Microsoft thing, layoffs are bad. Mass layoffs are bad. Microsoft is a corporation. They're not your friends. Phil is not your uncle. He's a man trying to do a job. Microsoft PR will get them through this. This is going to be a situation we're not going to be. We're all going to ignore and forget about until Starfield comes out and there's anything bad with that game. And we'll see. And this is what probably be brought up as a console war talking point from there. But other than that, yeah, this sucks. My hearts go out to all the developers and engineers and pretty much personnel at Microsoft who lost their jobs. And I really hope going forward, I really hope capitalism gets to a point where growth isn't the answer to business. And people are fine with like losing 1%. Just losing 1%.
always got to make more than the last.
I would love that, but I would love that, but the only way that capitalism is going to budge on that is for it to crumble entirely.
Right. Or someone to get so big and run capitalism in a different way that forces everyone else to react.
Right.
Like if Microsoft owned everything and they operated as a people first business and not a money first business, there's literally nothing else anyone could do to stop them. Like all talent would want to go work. All talent would want to go work at the one place because they would treat you so well. Other people will be getting Okay, so our next story is a two-part story. It's super sad. I'm sure. But our first part is from Ethan Goss. This is from Kotaku. Suicide Squad leak has fans worried about its online features. So Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League had a minor leak where someone revealed its like menu page, and its menu page looked a lot like Marvel's Avengers. It had a battle pass, a series of multiplayer suites. It's a whole thing, and the potential player base for this game is worried about what all this means. I'm already not someone who gives a shit about this game because while I like the Suicide Squad, I don't like the idea of killing the Justice League. as a super edgy title to stick onto your game. And like if you just made a Suicide Squad game, I'd be like, I bet, but you're calling the game Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. So I'm expecting it to be a dark piece of shit, a dark game I'm not into. And if it's not a dark game I'm not into, why did you market it as Kill the Justice League?
Well, admittedly, I will say to push back on that, wasn't Suicide Squad initially like implemented to be like a regulatory force under Amanda Waller? Like let's see if these these heroes get out of line.
No, it's the Suicide Squad has always been Amanda Waller's Black Ops team. The idea that they're suicide they're an opposition of the Justice League is a modern thing to make them matter more in a world in which the Justice League is a big thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's a thing. It's easier to sell the Suicide Squad, whose original team was like Bronze Tiger, Deadshot, and like Plastique, when they're operating within the Justice League framework. But yeah, so I wasn't interested in this game. The Battle Pass is one of those things where like, does a single player game need a Battle Pass? What does that Battle Pass mean? What is that? How does that function into its features? Is this game a games of service and they're just not talking about it?
Yeah. I also was on the same line of questioning as you, Avery, because when it leaked, I was like, oh, okay, it's a battle pass. That's actually better than loot boxes. But then I had the same thought. I was like, wait, this is a single player game. Like, what is happening? Like, why is this even a thing that is even mentioned for this game? Like, what are you guys doing? So it is a very weird thing because we don't really know officially what this game really is.
No, we don't. They've been we've seen a lot of tone piece trailers for it, and I think there is some gameplay footage out there, but no one knows what's
here and there,
like moment to moment of this game.
Yeah. So I mean, it's very possible that this has like online co-op. And this battle pass is for all the different cool skins you can get when you're doing online co-op. But we just don't know, so it's very weird. We're just in a very weird position right now.
Yeah, it could be the first, but Battle Pass to me implies games of service. And a games of service Suicide Squad implies Marvel's Avengers to me. And which snowballs into our next story. Pour one out there for your old friend Avery. This is a story from VGC from Andy Robinson. Crystal Dynamics confirms end of Marvel's Avengers later this year. So
I'm sorry, Avery.
Oh, dude. Okay. Let me just get to the story, and you guys can rag on me for liking this game. But the game will be remaining operational until March 31st, 2023. So I have about nearly a year to finally get this platinum trophy. And
I'll play with you.
Do you have level? Do you have max level characters?
Leave me alone.
Okay. And then the game is going to end all support September 30th, 2023. Well, the game's final update will be March 31st, but the game will be running until September 30th of 2023. But when it stopped running, they're delisting it and it's being removed from all stores. I'm assuming its servers are going to cease function. Whether you can play the game at all is a question mark I'm wondering about, because straight up, like the game's single player component is built within the framework of its multiplayer. So I'm like, can someone pick up this? You won't be able to buy it, but can someone who owns this game play through its main campaign from beginning to end without any bullshit?
I wonder if you after it loses support and you try and turn it on, then the moment it gets to the load screen, then it just fades away like the snap.
You gotta love always online bullshit.
But wait. Just to back up though, I think if there's a single player component, like for example, if this game can be played offline, then I think for sure.
I do not think the game can be played offline.
Oh.
I think the game's single player is rooted in its online component.
Yeah.
Because I'm unfortunate.
Missions are like.
Okay, so I was gonna say that like I'm still following the Anthem Reddit, and there's still people that are like, "Oh, I just picked this game up."
I was just about to bring that up.
Well, I think the difference between Anthem and this game, because you brought this up, is that EA is maintaining those servers.
That's a good point.
So the game is
That's a
still
good point, yeah.
functional. They're
Yeah.
telling you, hey, we're shutting off our servers this day. And I think that's going to be the end of this game in its entirety, which sucks. I'm pouring one out for this game. I know other people didn't like it, and I was the only person who was really championing this on this game, because ultimately I think its single player is actually, outside of missing a lot of opportunities for Marvel villains, it's an amazing Miss Marvel story and a really solid Avengers story. It's solid in a way. I think it's just as solid as the Marvel Spider-Man story. People can fight me on that, but I'm not someone who's super high on the Marvel Spider-Man story. I think the way it mechanically feels is hit or miss. I think ultimately it suffers from the fact that they can't just make a bespoke Spider-Man character. They have to make a Spider-Man character who fits within the framework of this world, because the amount of resources, like, for example, Marvel Spider-Man took 5 years to get that Spider-Man to fit that world. They don't have that type of bandwidth to do that, and it also would complicate the way the game is designed, because if all these characters are able to operate in this one world, you can't have a Marvel Spider-Man character being able to just web his way across the world with no buildings or anything like that. There are concessions that had to be made. That being said, Captain America, Miss Marvel play fantastic, and those are the only two characters I fucking played. I know people got annoyed by it being a games of service. I think games of I also played Hawkeye. But I know people got annoyed that it was a games of service. But games of service was the only way I was going to get a more robust Avengers lineup without paid DLC expansions. It's like, the game started with 6 characters, 3 of which I didn't really play. Shout out to Thor, Hulk, and Iron Man. And then by the end of the game's lifespan, we got
2 Hawkeyes.
We got 2 Hawkeyes, Black Panther, a second Thor, the Winter Soldier, and She-Hulk and Scarlet Witch were in development, but I don't think they're happening anymore. And Spider-Man as well. And if the game had been successful and COVID didn't fuck up its ramp up, I may have gotten more characters. The DLC for that game leaked a long time ago. So yeah, I'm pouring one out there. I had so much fun playing this game by myself.
So it's crazy. Apparently, Anthem still has roughly about 20,000 or 30,000 people still playing it daily, whereas this has less than 1,000.
Anthem's a good game. You know what I mean? It just
Debatable.
got shafted. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, in terms of Marvel Avengers, I enjoyed my time playing with it. I had my issues with the gameplay and controls, but overall, I did have a good time playing with it. I just fell off because it was games of service, and you get to that point where it's like, all right, you either grind for stuff now or you just jump to something else. And I just
Which is
jumped
the
to
thing that kills me on every games of service. The only reason that kept
That's
me
true.
playing was that this was a world I loved, and it was a storyline that I was genuinely caring about, and I generally found playing as Captain America one of the funnest experiences in this game. And so I had no problem playing the same mission over and over and over and over again
Exactly,
to
yeah.
grind for the fucking Hive trophy. Fucking
Yeah,
I will
like,
say
that's
that
the
I will say that if it was my type of game, I probably would have played it more. But out of everyone on this cast right now, that is definitely not my type of game. The only reason I even played it was to play it with y'all, and I barely played it with y'all. And so I was like, yeah, this is collecting dust.
Thank God we didn't buy Outriders.
Oh, jeez. I mean, it's the same way as how I just got consumed by Destiny 1 and 2. It was just I didn't mind playing the same strikes over and over again because I just loved doing the stuff that you did in that game. I totally get Avery's stance on loving Marvel's Avengers. I mean, it's the same thing as how I
trust me,
play
I was
Gundam,
annoyed by I was annoyed as anyone by the content drop. The fact that they were radio silent for fucking months, and the cadence of characters where we thought we were getting, I don't know, a new character every
couple of months
became a new character maybe every 6 months, and then they won't even communicate that they're working on this new character, and it still has to be shadow dropped on us.
Yeah.
Also, the new character after Black Panther, the new characters campaigns sort of got shortchanged.
Reduced. Yeah.
The Hawkeye has both Hawkeye characters have their own expansion missions with cutscenes and storylines and all of that, with new areas and things like that. After the Black Panther expansion, everyone else just we're in the game and here's some comic book scenes for you guys. We're not putting in the extra work. Yeah. I'm sad, but we're moving on. Yeah, let's move on. And then our next story is from Zach Schweisen from Kotaku.com. Rainbow Six film and works from John Wick director and Michael B. Jordan. There's not much to say here. The John Wick director.
I'll take it away. No, let me jump in here right quick.
Michael B. Jordan.
Okay.
So, apparently there's a game called Rainbow Six. It's pretty popular. It's not Call of Duty apparently, but I heard Michael B. Jordan, so I'm like, oh shit, Rainbow Six is awesome because Michael B. Jordan, like, right?
Rainbow Six is one of the most.
Why did you take this away from?
Yeah,
from
I have no idea. I was like in my head. I'm like, okay, how is DJ who's not the movie guy on this podcast going to frame this story out of it, and he just stumbled his way. Yeah, the director is Chad Stahelski, who is one of the genre creators. Is he the one who's still directing the movie because the duo broke?
Yes, I think. Good question. I think he's still doing them, and David Leitch went to do other stuff, I think.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I like it. Okay. As someone who plays Rainbow Six, specifically Siege, I have no idea what the fuck this movie is supposed to be, especially when you cast Michael B. Jordan as the focus. Because if I'm Ubisoft and I'm making a Rainbow Six movie, I'm making one based on Rainbow Six Siege, which is an ensemble piece. But if you're casting Michael B. Jordan as your focal character, I'm assuming they're not doing Siege, they're doing some of the older Rainbow Six things, or they're even doing the more easier thing, which in the world of The Last of Us is a dumb idea. They're just taking the name and putting a generic, like Tom Clancy-esque story as the main focal point, and just using...
I'm pretty sure because people forget Michael B. Jordan had a Tom Clancy movie come out for Amazon, I think either last year or the year before, called Without Remorse. And at the end of that movie, they basically allude to the fact that Rainbow Six is starting. So this is I think a sequel to that.
Yeah, it says it's a sequel, direct sequel.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Then this film is less interesting to me than I thought it was going into it. It's probably going to be really cool. Like, I'm no doubt about it's going to be really cool, but I'm not going to get fucking Sledge, Finka, all these cool characters from Rainbow Six Siege I actually like, and they're just like, you like Jack Ryan, don't you?
It's definitely going to be less of because from what I've heard with Rainbow Six Siege, it's like a little bit more of a hero shooter. And this is definitely probably going to be more of just like the grounded tactical shooter. And with what I remember of Without Remorse, the story was whatever. Michael B. Jordan was good in it, and the action was great. So that's probably what you're going to get here. Great action sequences, Michael B. Jordan doing the best he can with the material, and everything else about it probably being relatively forgettable.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like a interesting time. I mean, I just have to go watch Without Remorse because I saw it. I was like, oh. What? Go ahead.
I'm just asking, where's the Jake Gyllenhaal Division movie that was promised to me like 4 years ago?
With him and Jessica Chastain? Yeah, I don't know. That joint's been in and out of developmental hell for probably as long as Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't even give me something. Let's move on.
All right. That is it for the news for today. Before we end the cast,
no, it's not. No, it's not.
There's one more.
No, it's
two more stories.
Oh, shoot. You're right. I'm sorry.
He's kicking us out.
That was a whole lie. That was a whole ass lie. All right. So instead of you leaving us forever here, this is what you're gonna do, right? If you're watching us live, hit the like button. Here's the camera. Hit the like button. If you're not watching us live, but you're still watching us, technology, also hit the like button. Then hit the subscribe button and then hit the notification bell because we need you to do those three things to keep us going. All right. And then high five yourself because you're a champ. You're just cool, right? You're going to watch the Michael B. Jordan Rainbow Six sequel to Without Remorse. Of course you are. Of course you will. All right. Avery, what's happening since we're not done?
Okay. So this is an esports story, which I'm sorry, everyone, but I think it's an interesting esports story. This is from Kenneth Shepard. This is from Kotaku.com. Pro Overwatch teams reportedly want legal fight against Activision over money. Anyone who's been paying attention to the Overwatch League will tell you that it is not a failure, but it is definitely it's definitely been overflated. Its value has been overinflated. Teams had to spend $20 million that they buy in to get into the league itself. So beyond paying salaries for players, it's a whole thing.
Wait. They had to spend $20 million to get into the league itself?
To get on the gambling table.
That is
Put down
fucking nuts.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Esports, I've said this multiple times as someone who loves esports. Esports is a house of cards. It's fueled with venture capitalists and crypto and all this. Only two organizations have figured out how to be sustainable esports orgs. For the most of it, everyone is just operating off the idea that, hey, we can get big here.
And isn't it like, it's just, it's like Riot League and Legends, right? Or League of Legends, right?
League of Legends.
In terms of actual esports, Riot has done a good job of making a sustainable business around their esports.
I meant Rocket League. That's what I meant.
Rocket League as well. For the most part, esports don't exist to make money because they can't. They're not like big. They're not the NFL. They're not the NBA. They exist to be a marketing arm of the game and to show it off to people. That's what they exist for. So most people run it at a loss, and eventually it peters out. The strength of an esport is based entirely on as much support as they get from the developers, and as well as the support they get to a community. For example, Overwatch 2, Overwatch in its transition to Overwatch 2 killed this game as an esport because it became suddenly a franchise where no new content was being added for over a year and a half, and its meta was super slow and non-changing. So you get a year where it's a year playing remote, where like everyone's playing the same 6 characters because no other characters have changed, and
it shifts drastically.
Oh yeah.
You no longer have a job, 6th person.
Yeah. But yeah, the Overwatch League in itself is has proven unsustainable, and the esports orgs are essentially taking Activision Blizzard to task about, hey, these are the promises that were made to us. We're all in this hole for $20 million. And I believe one was quoted to say that, like, I've only made... I think someone was like, I've only made like $1 million back over the tenure of the Overwatch League in regards to how much I put in. Overwatch League also has absolutely no sponsors. And like it's being sustained by its I think its broadcast right deal currently with YouTube. So like it's not in a great place. And so we'll see how that goes forward. I mainly brought this up story initially because I'm very curious about, okay, when the Activision Blizzard deal, if and when it goes through, this becomes a Microsoft issue. How does Microsoft handle now having to deal with the Overwatch League, which is an overinflated esports league, as well as they have their own overinflated esports league, the HLC, the Halo comp scene, and like that's also not going good.
Yeah, they're gonna get Overwatch League the fuck up out of here.
Yeah, they're gonna just be like, hey, look, we're doing tournaments. They're just gonna run tournaments like that. Yeah, that's insane when you look at as much money that goes into it versus what's coming out of it, and it's just unsustainable. Like
StarCraft players still make money, right? That whole league. What is that about?
It does, but you also have to remember that StarCraft is I believe, single player game. So it's like it's super easy for
I'm at StarCraft 2 or whatever. Don't they compete in that or some shit?
Yeah, they compete, but like it's not like big teams. It's like
Yeah,
small
big
groups, like a single
Oh.
player playing as another single player. So it's super easy for an esports org to pay 1 or 2 StarCraft players to keep them into the scene.
Right.
Also, the StarCraft scene isn't that big. It's like Activision Blizzard hasn't done a good job of supporting StarCraft. So it's like they're playing StarCraft 2, a game that was released, I think, over 10 years ago, and it hasn't really been updated since then.
Still huge over in South Korea, though, ain't it?
Yes. But other games have now eclipsed them and eclipsed it in name popularity around the world.
Yeah.
Gotcha,
Plus, it's huge in South Korea, but South Korea isn't big.
sir.
So, I mean, you know, there's no Texas. You know what I mean?
All right, Sandy Cheeks.
Okay.
That's the dumbest thing I ever.
So yeah, we're gonna keep an eye on the Overwatch League going forward and other esports as they deal with the recession. Because straight up, esports orgs are hungry now for revenue. Only 100 Thieves and TSM are anywhere near profitable. FaZe Clan said they had an evaluation of $1 billion and went on the stock trade, and then they dropped down to, I want to say, an evaluation of like 70 million real quick. So like it tells you how big the bubble is. TSM, as profitable as TSM is, they also were in big business with FTX, and that fell through. If anyone's been paying attention to what's going on with FTX, so yeah, it's esports is an interesting place right now. Now here's our final story. This is from BBC. This is from Chris Gullion. The Last of Us TV series viewing figures are off to a great start. The debut episode gained an audience of 4.7 million viewers across pay TV channel HBO and the streaming service HBO Max combined. Parent company Warner Brothers Discovery has announced.
That's pretty
Awesome.
fucking good. I think it's only
Hell
second
yeah.
behind House of Dragons, and House of Dragons had years of hype behind it.
Yeah.
So
That just.
Oh no,
Just,
it's actually behind Boardwalk Empire. House of Dragons
the
had
hell is that?
9.9 million. You don't know what Boardwalk Empire is?
Do you know what Boardwalk Empire is?
Yeah.
Actually, I want to hear what
Monopoly.
I want to hear what DJ says about Boardwalk Empire.
Yes.
Not Monopoly.
I didn't care about it. It's like a period piece where it's like in the 20s or something, where like I'm not sure if
It's okay, DJ.
I forget the
Stop.
kind of.
I mean, he's
job
not
that they're
so far.
doing.
He's not wrong. It's like he's really on track on what Boardwalk
He's
Empire
Googling
is.
it right now. I bet.
No, my hands are right here. Look at that. I'm pulling
And
from
then
the
you
air.
find out DJ thinks that Boardwalk Empire is Peaky Blinders. But
I also know what that show is too.
but no, this is wonderful news. Because The Last of Us, at least from the first episode, is phenomenal. It's a fantastic adaptation, and I'm glad that I figured it was going to be received well in the general public anyway, just due to the fact that it's a easy to market story.
It's a solid story, and the original creator is involved.
Exactly. So it's cool to see that it's being well received.
Part of the original creators. That's the whole thing.
Well, I'm gonna say it. The part of the original creators that matters in terms of getting it to television.
Story. Yeah.
Also, to be generous to Bruce Straley, he would also be involved if he was still working at Naughty Dog, who's actually running this production.
Right. Fact.
Exactly.
I was gonna say this is a wonderful thing that it's doing so well, but it's also a double-edged sword, because I'd hate for the rest of the industry to see that a video game, adaptation is going so well, and they start digging through, rummaging through the bucket.
Sean, have you not been paying attention for the last 2 years? Literally everything has been optioned. Everything has been optioned for a film or TV adaptation. This is the only one, however, that's gotten
big name things. What I'm saying is, what about the second tier and third tier shit? What else can we?
Gravity Rush was optioned as a film or TV series like half a month, like 3 months ago.
Just you wait for Blinks the cat to get
now
big.
They want to.
I'm Blinks the cat.
If they want to adapt Parasite Eve, I'll take that instead of a remake.
They already did. It's a
Shut up!
1992 adaptation of the original Parasite Eve novel, which the games are
Don't
based
worry,
off of.
Man.
I need a big budget.
Don't worry. Don't worry, Sean. You'll get your Parasite Eve.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Go watch the Parasite Eve movie. It's actually pretty good.
Or you can watch the Resident Evil show on Netflix. Not good.
Oh man, but yeah, no, it's wonderful. This is great. I cannot wait to I can't wait for this game or for the show to get to Last of Us 2, and so I can watch the Red Wedding Fallout all over again.
I want to
Have
see who's
you
gonna have these
seen
arms.
the actress that they've may or may
Tentatively.
not have chosen for
Yeah.
Abby?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, I'll send you a link and we can talk about this off air. So it's not.
All right,
Oh.
please do. Please do.
Yeah.
Hopefully she buffs up to some Hulk Hogan. Hopefully my post comes true. I'll go repost it maybe for all our listeners.
So
that picture
I
cracks
think
me up.
we as in me and my wife are the only people in this cast that hasn't seen the episode yet. But the plan
You
is
said you were gonna
to.
watch it.
I know we just didn't get a chance because I have to wait for her. So she's not home because she's working, and I can't watch it. I mean, I could watch it.
I mean,
Good
to be
watch
fair,
it and
you've
then just
already
act
watched the
surprised.
show, so like,
Yeah, right. But last night we saw Avatar 2, and I am hoping that episode 1 and 2 of Last of Us reclaims the 3 hours that I had. No, I'm joking. Avatar 2, it was fine. It was a fine movie. I just didn't like certain story aspects, but yeah, I am as much
It also
as
shouldn't
I
have been
was
3 hours.
You're
let
not
James
wrong.
Cameron cook. Let the man cook.
No. No.
Let him cook.
I refuse. Get out the fucking kitchen.
The more he cooks, the better other movies will look.
No, yeah,
I'll
Avatar
give him
2.
that.
That is impressive. That was a great looking movie. Anyways, Last of Us 2. Not Last of Us 2. Last of Us, the show. Yeah, I am actually really looking forward to watching this. As much as I was kind of like, yeah, it's Last of Us. Yeah, I might check it out. Like, I'm actually looking forward to this. So, and it's really
yeah,
awesome.
It's
to see
The
that
Last
they are.
of Us. Yeah, you might check it out. I'm a come back to Maryland and I'm a box your knees. Put some respect. Put some respect.
Alrighty. Well,
Yeah,
awesome.
I also enjoyed The Last of Us on HBO. It was a fantastic first episode, and per my entire diatribe long conversation with Marcus, it's like I think we're getting the entire first season. If we get a season 2, based on everything that Neil and Craig Mason have talked about, they have no interest in doing a Last of Us 1.5. So if they're jumping to season 2 of Last of Us, season 2 of Last of Us will be Last of Us Part 2. And I think I'm of the mindset that they're going to split Part 2 into two seasons.
2 halves, yeah. And I mean, my thing is
Well,
like
not 2 halves, 2 seasons.
Without getting into the weeds, like because Avery and I did have like a long conversation in Discord about it, but after watching the premiere episode, the pilot, they did what I was hoping that they would do with this adaptation. So I'm fine with them moving at a clip as long as they're able to continue to do what they've been doing, which is adapting it faithfully while still making it its own thing and adding little things here and there to further kind of flesh out the rest of the world in a way that they couldn't in the game. So I think it's great.
I want to point out that The Last of Us Part 1 is like a 10-hour game, and let's be honest, only 30% of that game is actual cutscenes. 70% of it is just moving around and exploring environments. So it's I don't think there's going to be any rushing in regards to as they get to its finale.
And brick chucking. Can't forget brick chucking.
yeah, motherfucker.
No, that's Deacon. You got the wrong game. All right. That has been the game news for us and you. But before we jump into what we've been playing, we have a word from our sponsors. It's a weird thing to do while live. So, hey guys, look, the sponsor is us. What they do? Like the stuff, like the video,
Like, share, subscribe, do all the stuff.
There you go. What he said. All right. Now let's jump back into what we've been playing. Marcus, what have you been playing?
Yes.
Yes.
Just more Overwatch 2, really. That's they had a new season, but it's still as Avery likes to say a lot, Overwatch 2 technically hasn't officially come out yet because the PvE isn't a thing. So it's really just more Overwatch. They had a kind of a Greek or Mount Olympus themed season. So, you had a lot of Greek god themed skins. They had a game mode. I forget what it's called. Something of Mount Olympus,
I think
where
it's called
basically
Battle of Olympus.
Battle of Olympus, yeah, where you're locked to, I think, 8 different characters, and each of them represent one of the gods. Lucio was Hermes. I think Junker Queen was Zeus. There were some others. And basically it's kind of like a free-for-all type thing. It's pretty cool. But at this point, Overwatch is Overwatch until PvE comes out. So
Yeah.
you're kind of getting
What
the
do
same
you
things.
get like if you win that mode? Is it just like a normal?
I think it's just like skins. It's like battle pass
Oh,
stuff. Yeah, it's
Gotcha,
nothing
gotcha.
really specific. It's nothing really special. It's all at this point. Everything that you gain in the game is just accoutrements and
Gotcha.
aesthetic stuff. Like it's really just.
Love those.
My main thing right now with the game is the way that the grind works for ranking up in comp is just not feasible. It's just it's not great. Like, I understand why they shifted it to appeal to the way that they've changed the game from a $60 experience where everything is free to battle pass, but the whole you either rank up or go down from every 7 wins or every 20 losses is not great because nothing's balanced. So it's really frustrating.
Wait.
So-
So you mean the way the rank system works is there's no RR or anything? It just tracks your wins. Wow.
Yep.
Huh.
So basically, if you win 7 games straight,
Yeah.
you'll have a better chance of ranking up, but they track whenever you win. So, like, let's say I win 2 games in a row, then lose 5 games. They'll track the next time I win. And then when I finally get to that 7 wins, I guess it also factors in how many times in between each win that I lost as well. And then factors in, I guess, where I should rank. And I'm going to be real. I play, at least as support, I play on a
God bless
gold
you.
level.
God bless your heart.
Yeah.
Don't blame
Like,
support,
I play
don't
on a
blame-
gold level, and I am stuck in silver because of this bullshit.
Yeah, that sucks. That sucks, man.
I am willing to
But,
usher you into the next plateau, Marcus. Just send me an invite.
Is this Overwatch you're talking about, or?
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
Overwatch.
Okay.
But that is the only competitive game I'm playing that I can actually, like, try and
Yeah.
get somewhere in. I'm
Yeah.
better at Apex than I used to be, but
Hey.
I'm not Sean and Avery.
You know what will help your skills at that, Marcus?
What?
DMZ.
What?
Okay, I'm done.
That's pretty
but
much
yeah,
it for what we've been playing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. It was just you, my dear friend. It was just you. All right. Well, that has been it for the podcast. We hope you enjoyed this live episode of Press X to Start Gamers Digest.
Yelling.
In case telling, who are you telling? Who are you telling?
Yelling. No, go ahead.
Oh, yelling. Oh, yes, I am. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed making it. Don't forget to rate and reviews on your favorite podcasting apps, because every little bit counts. It helps. Keeps us strong. It's like our food. Also, remember to like and share and subscribe. No, I like, subscribe, and share better. Do that. Do those 3 things in that order, not the first order. Do it. Of course, we're on YouTube. That's what you're watching us on, or you're listening in your ears. Hey, so if you're listening to this in your ears, remember we're on YouTube. You know what? That's it. You know what? Just have a great day. Be safe. Play some
You're
games.
so bad at improv.
I also promise we'll also be streaming on the regular on Twitch in the beginning of February.
Yes. He said it. You hear that?
Just in
Streaming's
time for
gonna happen.
Black History Month.
Should we stream, or should I stream the first hour for Spoken?
That would be a cool thing. We'll
That's got a black protagonist, so sure.
For Black
It
History.
doesn't count if it's not in February, Marcus. Come on, keep up. All right, guys.
Cut the
Be
feed.
safe. Take care. Enjoy your everything. I'm just figuring out the button to press to get us out of
F
here.
it. We'll do it live.
Uno
you know
out.
what it is.